What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Connor Gertie back on the G-Lowe channel, wearing a little bit different hat. I know I'm wearing an ASU hat with a TCU shirt, whatever. Anyway, filming this late at night. I've been studying all day. Finals start Monday. So, again, next week I'm probably not going to be filming a ton. However, tonight, NBA playoffs. Almost all the series are ended, so I thought I'd give a recap for all of y'all, a little analysis, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, of the NBA playoff situations. Shout out to my boy G-Lowe, shout out to my boy Zach Iron, sorry for your team, I'm very upset. Almost all my predictions were wrong for the playoffs, as per usual. I can't catch a break, everybody. I can't catch a break when it comes to picking winners anymore. So, again, please do not use me for any betting advice. I am not an expert. I do not claim to be an expert. I am just an idiot kid who gets 99% of his predictions wrong. So, with that said, let's get right into it. First off, I want to talk about the big series today. The rivalry, grudge match series, whatever you want to call it. The Knicks versus the Celtics. Shout out to my homie, mrFoamersimpson. Shout out to all the Knicks fans. Shout out to Deco. I know you are a Jeremy Lin fan, but you rep the Knicks still here. Shout out to all the Knicks lovers. I like the Knicks. I'm a huge fan of Carmelo Anthony. J.R. Smith is my favorite player in the league. I've said it before. I'll say it again. J.R. Smith is my favorite player. I love J.R. Smith. I just think he is a great, great player. So underrated. I loved him when he was in Denver. I've always been a big fan of JR. Love Marcus Camby. Love J. Kidd. Amon Shumpert. Love his style of play. Love me some Kenyon Martin. When they had Sheed, and Sheed's coming off the bench. Love Sheed. James Flight White. You know, they're just a great team. I love that team. They beat the Celtics. Closed out that series today. They are going to be playing in the next round, the Pacers, who also won today. I'm not going to do any analysis on the Pacers-Hawks game. I wasn't watching that. I was watching the Knicks-Celtics game in anticipation for this video. Wow. The Knicks came out guns a-blazing. They were on fire. They were hitting shots. They were making plays, getting out in transition, making the Celtics look old, making the Celtics young players look old, making the Celtics seem like they were unprepared to compete today. Just absolutely thoroughly embarrassing the Celtics until the fourth quarter. Knicks were up big, and then something happened. Something happened. I don't know what happened, but things changed, and the Celtics went on a 20-something run to bring the game within, I think, 4 points. Absolute insanity. It was up in Boston. The Garden was rocking. Not Madison Square, but it was going crazy, and Melo came up clutch in the end. He had a couple costly turnovers at the end of the game, but you know what? At the end of the game, Melo was coming up big. He was hitting his shot. JR had an amazing and one down the stretch. Iman hit a couple big. I think he hit a 3 down the stretch. The Knicks started playing defense again and were able to close out the game. You know, I got to give the Celtics credit. They really fought back. If they didn't win that game, I don't think the Knicks win Game 7. This breaks a 13-year skid by the Knicks. I'm going to be doing predictions all next week, probably. Right before the series starts, I'll probably do my prediction video on those series, so stay tuned for that. So I'm not going to do any predictions. Again, I didn't follow the Hawks or Pacers game at all. I was just following the Knicks game, so I have no analysis. I never watched a game in that series. They were never on TV. They were always on NBA TV, and for some reason, TCU doesn't get NBA TV half the time, so sorry to all the Hawks and Pacers fans. But the Knicks, if they play like they did in the first half, they have a real shot of knocking off the Heat. Those first 3 quarters from the Knicks were absolutely marvelous. playing at the top of their game. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention Tyson Chandler. Compton. Ho, ho. Huge fan of Tyson Chandler. LA guy from Compton. Big fan of his. But anyway, I'm going to move on and talk about the other series that ended today. Not the Thunder Rockets series. I could have cared less about that one. I know the Thunder won. I watched a little bit of the game. James Harden did not show up, I thought, in these playoffs. James Harden has not been showing up in the playoffs as of late. He just didn't look good from when I was watching. But again, I'm not sure. I didn't watch the whole game. Maybe he did, but when I was watching, he was turning the ball over a lot, and he just wasn't hitting anything. So, I don't know. I'm not a fan of James Harden in the playoffs. During the regular season, he's a good player, but in the playoffs, James Harden has played very poorly. But again, I'm going to move on. Clippers versus Grizzlies. Clippers lost in just horrible fashion. They got blown out by the Grizzlies. I know there were a lot of bad calls. I understand that. But I think it's got to come down to Vinny Del Negro. Vinny Del Negro is like Mike D'Antoni. They are two of the worst game managers in the postseason. He's horrible. He is a horrible coach, Vinny Del Negro. He just doesn't know what... He looks like he has no clue what the hell is going on. Ever. He looks lost. He looks confused. He's just not a good coach. I know Blake Griffin's hurt. I know that Chris Paul might be a little banged up. I know some of the players on that team might be banged up. But you know what? They had a team that, when I watched those first two games of the series, I thought the Clippers were going to absolutely dominate the Grizzlies. I thought they were going to sweep the Grizzlies. Turns out I'm wrong. Because the Grizzlies, Zach Randolph, Z-Bo, and Marc Gasol just started going to town. Z-Bo especially. People who don't know basketball will not appreciate Zach Randolph. Zach Randolph is one of the best post players, pure post players in the league. He is big, strong, he is tough, he is mean, he has post moves for days. The guy can only elevate about this high off the ground, and yet makes plays. Because you know what? He knows how to move with the basketball, fake guys out. Blake Griffin never had a chance in this series. Blake Griffin has got to develop a post game. I know some people say, oh, he's got a decent post game. He doesn't. Blake Griffin relies 100% on athleticism for the most part on the offensive end. By that I mean his post move for the most part is a spin move. I understand it is an extremely good spin move. Let me just say that. Great spin move. But he needs to develop more than just the spin. He needs to develop a hook. He needs to develop some other kind of move. He needs to develop his ability to back down opponents, to use his shoulders, to drop, step, to dip in. Once he develops those for a consistent basis, I know I've seen him do them occasionally, but when he develops those on a consistent basis, he's going to be dominant. He needed to suck it up, though. He needed to play through the pain tonight. He wasn't able to. I know it's a high ankle sprain. I know that's a bad injury, but you know what? This is the playoffs. You gotta play through it. You gotta play through it. Chris Paul, I don't know what he does this offseason. I think he's going to re-sign with the Clippers, but I think the Clippers are going to have to fire Vinny Del Negro. I don't see them winning with him as the coach. They have got to go out and get a coach that just knows how to use that team. They have a problem with fourth quarter free throw shooting, of course, with DeAndre and Blake. That bench, when that bench is on, that bench is on. But you know what? As much as it is on, a lot of times it's led by Jordan Crawford and Matt Barnes. I just don't think Vinny Del Negro is a good game manager. I understand he has the deepest bench and he wants to use all those guys throughout the game. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to stick with the guys on the floor. I think he inserts guys at the wrong time, in my opinion. I think if a group is rolling, he'll insert a new guy into that lineup, and it kind of throws off their momentum. And yeah, I just think he's got to go. He's not a good coach. He just doesn't. He lost. The series was up 2-0. You got to win one of those next games in Memphis. If they win one of those games in Memphis, this series is done. They would have won. If they take a 3-0 or a 3-1 lead in this series, I don't think Memphis comes back. I think, again, poor mismanagement. I think Blake's injury did hurt them, but you know what? It didn't hurt them so much that they shouldn't have been able to recover from one loss or two losses. They needed to at least win Game 5. The fact they didn't, to me, that's a bad sign for the future. Until they get rid of Vinny Del Negro as a coach, they're not going to move on to that next step. And that's going to be it for my analysis. Thank you all for watching. This has been your boy Connor Garrity on the G-Money041 channel. Again, shout out to my boy Zach Irons, G-Lowe, Mr. Foamer Simpson, Deco, all NBA fans. Great day of basketball. 4 great games. Again, Pacers and Atlanta fans, sorry I didn't watch your game. Houston and Thunder fans, again, sorry I didn't watch your game. That's just how it goes. And again, thank you all for watching. Your boy Connor Garrity on the G-Money041 channel. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. And yeah, again, thank you. Much love to everybody watching, like what I'm doing. Much love. And with that, I'm going to hit y'all with the peace.